The Prime Minister says he's committed to supporting infrastructure in the battleground state of Victoria, despite a near $1 billion blowout for a major project. Victoria political reporter Simon Love is in Melbourne. Hi there, Simon. How is Anthony Albanese buying into the roads and rail debate where you are?
Morning, Lay. Well, it's interesting to see the Prime Minister here in Melbourne ahead of the grand final. Of course, he'll be attending tomorrow, but this morning he took the opportunity to really get on the front foot with supporting the state government's efforts. It comes after a bit of a shock announcement on the eve of the grand final long weekend here in Melbourne, with Danny Pearson, the state's infrastructure minister, revealing that its signature rail project, the Metro Tunnel, had blown out to the tune of $830 million. Now, that's a settlement with the tunnel builder that has forced the project to increase in price. He blamed yesterday a number of factors, including the war in Ukraine, as well as tension in the Middle East, for this. So with the Prime Minister keen to get on the front foot, he was trying to highlight that way back when he was infrastructure minister, that they'd actually committed money to the state metro project, but it was ripped out by by the following Prime Minister, Tony Abbott. So Labor really trying to attack the Liberals even as a blame on this.
We are committed to making a difference, because infrastructure investment is how you boost productivity and how you make it easier to get around a great growing city like Melbourne.
And of course, the question really related to, is the Prime Minister nervous about any further federal funding contributions to infrastructure projects in Victoria, given the state's debt position, and given that the state's also seeking funds for its suburban rail loop project and as well the Melbourne Airport rail link. Now, the airport rail link would benefit a seat such as Gorton, which is where Anthony Albanese was, out in Melbourne's western suburbs. He emerged and met the new Labor candidate for Gorton, Alice Jordan-Baird, who's taking over Labor representation there from Brendan O'Connor, who, of course, the minister, a long-time minister, is retiring. Now, Alice Jordan-Baird has defended any accusations that she's not a local, particularly to that area, saying that she lives in nearby Footscray, will probably move out to the area. She's a former state government staffer as well, so it was really all smiles between the three of them as this new candidate was launched. But of course, in the nearby battleground seat also of Maribyrnong, Jo Brisky was parachuted in, the PM defending her pass, given she's previously run for federal parliament up in Brisbane, and she's now going to take over after a factional deal in the seat of Maribyrnong, now occupied by the retiring Bill Shorten. So on Gorton, here was the new candidate, Alice Jordan-Baird, and the Prime Minister.
I care deeply about my community and the communities that live here as well. I'm really excited to raise a family here with my husband, Chris Paduano.
The truth is that in Australia in 2024, it's not unusual that people have lived in more than one state over their working life. That is what happens. But Alice was telling me that she's a rock rover and plays in the forwards for the Roosters team based in Footscray.
West Footscray.
So whilst I'm not a great fan of the Roosters in another code, this is a Roosters team that I can support.
Of course, the prelim final tonight involving the NRL, the Storm here in Melbourne. Tomorrow, the PM will attend the traditional grand final breakfast. You'll probably get ribbed there with a song. It's a Melbourne tradition where he walks into a funny song. We'll wait and see what that is on the Fox Footy telecast tomorrow. And his tip for the grand final is the Swans, Lay. So maybe trying to stick with supporting a team that's closer to his own electorate in Sydney.
Probably, Simon. And I see Alice was dressed in the Swans colours too. Thanks for that.
Yep.